Check.
Just kidding.
You guys hear me?
All right, so, this is very important to me. Go ahead. This chapel is very important to me.
Esta capilla es muy importante para mí.
Because, I'm a media guy.
Me too. Girl. Media girl.
Parte del equipo de media.
And, this is how I worship.
Y así es como yo alabo.
This is how I spend time with God, making videos. Even though sometimes you guys come next to me when I'm doing it, I'm really stressed out, and I may push you, but this is...
Y así es como alabo yo al Señor haciendo mis videos.
So let's just have fun with it, Ed, can I call you Ed?
Absolutely.
This is Wendy and I'm Josh. I met Ed earlier, before. Best couple minutes of my life. He's a really cool guy.
Really cool.
He's really cool. All right.
Conocí a Ed y es una
So
persona
Ed,
increíble.
just to break the ice, I know these guys, these counselors are improv, right?
Yeah.
Estos consejeros son improvisados.
I love improv. Have you ever done any improv?
¿Has hecho algo improvisado?
Want to try something?
¿Quieres intentar algo?
All right. Okay, let's just make a scene. I'll be a pirate,
Voy a ser un
and
pirata.
you can be, do you know Mike Wazowski?
¿Sabes quién es Michael?
Do you want to be a parrot? My parrot?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just looking for some treasure. That's it. So let's go ahead. Hey, matey. Hey, look. It's some buried treasure. Buried treasure! Oh, wait, never mind. That's my wife. Thank you. All right, so, let's just keep it classy. So, question number one.
Pregunta número uno.
How did this vision come to be?
¿Cómo llegó esta visión?
Well, this is actually based upon an experience that I had while I was at Vanguard University.
Fue una experiencia que tuve cuando estaba en la Universidad de Vanguard.
Vanguard University has a comedy team that travels to summer camps called the Delivery Boys.
Ellos tienen un equipo de comedia que viajan a los campamentos que se llaman Delivery Boys.
And they also have a girls team called Entourage.
Y también tienen un equipo de damas que también viajan.
And then they would travel to different summer camps, performing, serving, and also promoting the school.
Ellos van y hacen shows en los campamentos y promueven a la escuela.
And so that experience changed my life. I mean, I was excited about performing because I've been performing all my life.
Y eso me emocionó y cambió mi vida porque me encantaba promocionar.
And so I was like, if I could perform and they're going to pay me,
Si puedo ir y hacer esto y me van a pagar,
that sounds like an awesome deal. And the whole summer I'll just be traveling. That's great. Yeah.
eso es increíble y estoy viajando todo el verano.
But what I quickly realized is that performance was the least thing that was interesting.
Y lo que menos me gustó era hacer el acto.
What changed my life was the experiences with the students at the altar.
Lo que cambió mi vida fue las experiencias con los estudiantes en
It
los altares.
was cleaning all the dishes after KP, after everybody ate
Era
food.
limpiar los trastos después de que todos comiesen.
I mean, it was talking to people. It was spending time as being present. Those were the moments that really changed my life and said, this is a really special thing.
Y estar presente y hablando con las personas y pensar que eso es algo muy especial.
And as you guys know, I mean, improv performers are unique people. They're funny. They always have something random, off-kilter to say. They're kind of random already.
Y aquellos que improvisan actuando dicen cosas raras y son divertidos.
Especially when you put somebody on the spot to perform an improv.
Especialmente cuando pones a alguien en la mira para hacer algo.
But at the same time, so you have interesting people, you have a really dynamic situation, and you have a growth. That's what's really special about this.
Tienes una dinámica, personas interesantes y un crecimiento, y eso es lo importante de esto.
You go in expecting one thing, and then God changes your life completely by the end of the whole time. So that's what's exciting for me to capture.
Vas esperando algo y Dios cambia todo increíblemente y eso es lo que me emociona mucho a mí.
Something that really caught my attention personally when you were giving your intro was that your grandfather here, he knew Alice E. Luz, and by accepting that call 50 years ago, here you are today. So in the same way, how do you see this project? Where is this project going? Like, where is it headed?
Well, initially it's going to be on 3 different platforms. So it's going to premiere on March 20th on TBN's Youth Network. It's called Juice TV. So that's a terrestrial television network. You can get that on any television that has digital signal. You can also get it on Fios. There are also a couple of cable providers that it's on. It's also going to be on newreleasetuesday.com. It's the largest Christian music website. And there's also an online streaming network called parables.tv that's also going to premiere it. And so it's actually a historic moment because it's the first time in history. Oh, I'm sorry.
El programa va a salir en tres diferentes locaciones. Va a salir en el programa juvenil de TVN, va a salir en el internet en parables.tv y también va a salir en
NewReleaseTuesday.com.
newreleasetuesday.com, que es un programa de música en el internet cristiano.
Yeah, and so it's a historic moment because it's the first time in history a Christian program is premiering on 3 platforms at the same time.
Es algo histórico porque es la primera vez que un programa cristiano va a salir en 3 plataformas al mismo tiempo.
That's really exciting. With a combined reach of about 33 million households. So the potential's there. I mean, obviously we have a grassroots marketing.
Tiene un potencial de alcanzar más de 33 millones de personas, aun cuando tenemos un comienzo hogareño.
But this is where it begins. I mean, this is where it begins. It begins in front of you guys.
Empieza aquí enfrente de ustedes.
And it begins when people watch it to build the interest for a season 2.
Y cuando las personas lo miran y agarran interés para la segunda temporada.
So I see the show lasting like 6 years or more.
Yo veo que este programa tal vez dure 6 años o más.
Because I think every season will have a different team. It'll have different personalities. It will have different people from different walks of life.
Cada temporada va a tener diferentes personas que vienen de caminares de vidas diferentes.
And so we'll be able to explore many issues that have to deal with Christians, that have to deal with team dynamics, we have to deal with summer camp. There's a whole wide range of issues that we'll cover.
Y van a haber muchas cosas cubiertas que sean entre dinámica, entre personas cristianas, la vida cristiana y muchos ángulos que van a ser cubiertos.
Yeah, I know for me, like, I want to get into film too. But, so, I'm just curious, how did you make it to that level? How did you make it on TV shows, radios, all that?
¿Cómo llegaste a ese nivel donde tú estás ahorita?
Well, it's been a long, long journey. Actually, I was talking to Blessing in the back, and I was like, he's like, how long did it take you to do this?
Fue una jornada muy larga que estuve hablando con Blessing y me preguntó cuánto tiempo me tomó hacer esto.
Or he actually said, when did you shoot this? And I was like, I shot this in 2008.
Y él me preguntó cuándo grabaste esto y yo dije en el 2008.
And see, it takes a long time to get it to where it needs to be, where now it's a television series, there's 4 episodes.
Toma mucho tiempo para poderlo a llegar a donde tiene que estar y ahora que son 4 episodios.
So initially it started with a calling. Initially started when I graduated college and I realized, I have this love for my faith and I got my degree in religion.
Empezó con mi llamado, con mi fe y mi título que recibí en religión.
But I also have a love for the creative arts. And I grew up in a church that encouraged that. I was performing every day in front of the big church, or every Sunday practically.
Y también es por la pasión de las artes que tengo. Estaba promocionando las artes en mi iglesia todos los domingos.
So I gave myself 2 years after I graduated college, to see if I could follow through with the creative arts.
Tomé 2 años para ver si podía continuar en las artes creativas después de graduarme.
And in 2 years, I was blessed to be part of a movie that actually got a distribution deal.
Y también tuve parte en una película que tuvo un trato de distribución.
And it was even in Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video when they were still around.
Y estaba en Blockbuster y Hollywood Video cuando aún estaban abiertos.
And so from that, the team that made that movie, they decided to do All Summer Long. And so we decided to band together all of our resources.
Y el equipo que hizo esa película decidió hacer este show y unimos todos nuestros recursos.
And so it was Vanguard University. There was staff that was involved. There actually was a guy who went to LABI that was involved. There was a lot of people that kind of came together to make this happen for this week.
Muchas personas se unieron para hacer que todo esto funcionara esta semana.
And then once we shot it, it was a process to continue step by step to get it going to where it is today. So it's been a long process.
Y una vez que logramos grabarlo, fue un proceso de paso a paso para poderlo unirlo todo.
But if you feel that this is your calling, and if you feel that this is something that God has put in your heart and you have to do, and every day you cannot stop doing this, you just feel that this is your calling in life, then you will make it happen.
Si tú sientes que este es tu llamado y que tú sientes que es lo que el Señor quiere que tú hagas, vas a hacer lo posible para que eso suceda.
So there's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of things that I had to do, in retrospect, that I didn't realize once I did this how long it would take and what it would look like. But I'm here to say that it's gonna premiere now, finally, yeah.
Fueron muchos sacrificios.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that because I actually went to college and I dropped everything just to come here to answer the call over here at LABI. I was also a communications major, specifically in TV production. So I can relate to that, you know, and something like you said is that you actually got as many resources as you can, you know, to really produce this show. So you kind of talked about it a little bit, but what would you say to the students here at LABI, you know, that also have that calling, but, you know, maybe are afraid to really step out of that boat, step into the waters, you know, and really answer that call? You know, like, how can LABI students be more involved in media?
Well, first off, take risks.
Tomen riesgos, es lo primero.
And I feel like there's a little pot that's a plant inside of us that's growing.
Siento que hay una vasija con una planta que está creciendo entre nosotros.
And for some of us, it's like already coming out. Like we need to like let it out. Like it's coming out of us.
Y para algunos de nosotros ya está saliendo de nosotros.
But it's not what others conceive our life to be. It's not what others tell us that we should do.
Y tal vez no sea lo que otros nos digan que tenemos que hacer.
So we don't let anybody know about what's inside of us. We don't let them know about this big dream or this kind of audacious thing that we have.
Así que a veces no les decimos a las personas de los grandes sueños que tenemos dentro de nosotros.
And so we go throughout our life with this big thing that we're hiding, but it's like very vibrant. It's alive. It's growing inside of us.
Tenemos algo que está creciendo vibrantemente dentro de nosotros y a veces lo escondemos.
And I feel that that's something that is a part of a calling. That's something that God has put in your life for a reason.
Y eso es algo parte del llamado que Dios te ha dado, algo que Él ha puesto dentro de ti por una razón.
So I would encourage students to take risks like this. I mean, it's not an easy step. It's not an easy step to take. There's a lot of hard work involved, but it's possible to do something like this if you make the right team, if you work with the right people.
Los motivos que tomen estos riesgos son sacrificios que hay que hacer, pero si tienen un buen equipo y las decisiones correctas, lo pueden hacer.
So the big thing too is to watch this, is to tell the people at the churches that you're working at, to tell the people, your friends, that there is a program out there. It's geared towards young people, so it's not necessarily for particularly college age like LABI.
Y que les digan a las personas de las iglesias, a sus amistades, no son específicamente guiados a estudiantes de nivel universitario.
It's really geared for older teens, so probably like a 16, 17, 18, and even in this age as well, but the core audience is probably younger teens where we're targeting.
Y la audiencia que estamos buscando son adolescentes de la media.
So by telling and getting ready to see the pilot on the whole series premiere on March 20th, that is a big thing.
Y ver cómo va a salir la serie desde el piloto a partir de marzo es algo grande.
And then if you want to talk to me, if you know there's opportunities to work with my production company or intern with me, and other people that are doing the same thing, reach out to them, learn to cultivate your calling, to cultivate this calling in the media arts.
Si quieres hablar conmigo o con mi equipo, puedes hablar o busca cómo empezar a cultivar estas artes de medios de comunicación para poder servir.
Because the message of Christ doesn't change. The message of Christ doesn't change. It's powerful. You don't need to change it.
El mensaje de Cristo no cambia, no necesitas cambiarlo porque es poderoso.
It's just a method that is delivered.
Solo es el método en el cual es llevado.
And so we have a responsibility, if you're called in the media arts, to show the world, to take that risk, to take that step, and let people know why do you believe in what you believe, and let people know because I'm a great storyteller, I can tell that story.
Y es nuestro deber, si estamos en las artes de medios de comunicación, poder llevar esa historia y decirles por qué es lo que creo, porque puedo compartir esa historia.
You're legit, man, you're legit. So you know, we have Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, MySpace, you're still on that. So, you know, I want to know, how is media ministry important in today's society?
Well, it's one of those things that I'm not sure is completely validated in every church.
Los medios de comunicación a veces no es validado en todas las iglesias.
We have a media ministry is almost like a hey bro ministry.
El ministerio de media a veces es un ministerio apartado.
It's like, hey bro, you got a camera, can you record this?
Y si dice, hey, si tú tienes una cámara, ¿puedes grabar esto?
Hey bro, you know how to edit this, can you do this for me? Can you know, it's not really seen for what it is as an art form, as an actual vehicle to communicate the Word of God.
Y no es visto como un medio o un vehículo para poder comunicar la palabra de Dios.
So, part of, I think, what the time that I grew up in and the church that I grew up in, that was just, I just happened to be in that environment where they did cultivate that. So, I feel like media ministry is important.
Yo crecí en una iglesia y estuve en una iglesia que pudieron apreciar estos medios y esas artes de comunicación, y yo siento que eso sí es importante.
I mean, just this is a little microcosm of this, but people that are editing movies and doing visual effects in Hollywood, they're looking at YouTube, they're looking at kids doing videos on YouTube to teach them how to do visual effects.
Las personas que están en Hollywood editando y haciendo efectos especiales están viendo a la juventud en YouTube para poder hacer esos efectos especiales.
So if that's any indication of what the next generation has to offer, we should validate that. We should encourage that.
Es una indicación de qué es lo que la siguiente generación está ofreciendo y tenemos que validar y apoyar esta creatividad.
So my goal is to change the viewpoint of media ministry as a hey bro ministry.
Mi misión es cambiar esa mentalidad del ministerio de artes de media.
To a whom shall I send ministry.
Un ministerio de que a quién enviaré.
Amen. All right, so I know we wanted to do an altar call.
Queríamos hacer un llamado al altar.
And we wanted Ed to pray
Queríamos que Ed ore.
for those who feel called to media.
Aquellos que se sienten llamados a esos medios de comunicación.
So Pastor Rudy.
Hey, thank you, Ed, for being here and sharing your gifts and talents.
Gracias por estar aquí compartiendo tus talentos.
And like Ed said, there is a gift in the media.
Y como él dijo, hay un don y talento en
You can
los
just stand
medios.
up with me and I can have the worship team come up.
Si pueden pasar el grupo.
And what I want Ed to pray for the students
Ore por los estudiantes
that have a call to be behind the camera or to produce a show like this.
que tienen un llamado para producir programas televisivos como este.
And let the seed that is going to give fruit in the world
Y que la semilla que está germinando que dé fruto en el mundo,
starts here at LABI.
que empiece aquí en LABI.
To change from hey bro ministry
De cambiar de un ministerio tan apartado
to whom shall I send?
a un ministerio de que a quién
So
enviaré.
this is you.
Si eres tú,
If you say, man, I want to do media.
si tú dices yo quiero estar en tus medios,
I want to produce a show.
quiero producir programas,
We want to pray for you today.
queremos orar por ti, güey.
We want to pray and really have Ed share in that vision
Queremos que Ed comparta la visión
and deposit that seed that God has called him to.
y deposite la semilla que Dios le ha dado a él.
So come on up as the worship team plays. And don't be afraid to come up. We want to pray for you.
No tengan miedo de pasar, si quieren pasar.
This is the time for you to be bold and courageous.
Es tiempo de ser valeroso.